All right, so today on Unborn Radio, I am with Psych from the Gorilla Kings. Psych, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, bud?
Yes, sir. My name is Psych. The PSN name is Psych Graves Rider. I'm the National Warlord for the Gorilla Kings Motorcycle Club.
What is a warlord? What is your job as a warlord? If
My
you don't
job
mind.
is basically to ensure the security of the entire crew. Make sure that everything is going smoothly, making sure there's no conflict or anything like that.
Right on.
And if there is a war, like a lobby war, me and a select few go in and assist in leading the lobby war, making sure our guys survive as much as possible and win.
When was the club founded?
Let's see. It was founded on August 29th, 2017.
Right on. Do you know if the founders knew each other before coming to the Kings, or was it they find each other? Did they come from another club, or?
From what I know, they were friends before, and some of them met the other founders and basically came together. Our national president came up with the idea, and everybody agreed to it. Thus, the Gorilla Kings were born.
Can you explain your patch a little bit? Like, some clubs have a name for their centerpiece. Colors, there's a reason behind your colors that you choose. Do you know why they went with the Gorilla Kings as a name?
So our national president, he likes obviously gorillas, and he just didn't like the way it sounded. So then it became the Gorilla Kings, and as far as the color, I can only assume that it was just his favorite color, and that's how it got picked.
What's changed over the years with your club? So like with our club, we've changed rules and bylaws and whatnot as the years progress. Like, what's something that has done like a 180 within your club? So like from beginning to end, where were you and where you are now, I guess?
At one point in time, we allowed underage members, like people under the age of 18, like 17, and very few 16-year-olds, but it always turned out to not work out, just the maturity level, and we went to 21 plus. That's pretty much really it. That's really the only big change. Everything's pretty much ran the same for a long time.
So, what brought you into the MC community on GTA?
Well, I understand MC communities. You know, I have a grandfather and an uncle. They were both bikers, and that's something I grew up knowing. Like I already knew the structure. I already knew the brotherhood and everything like that. So when I found out that there was an MC community on GTA, I just dived right into it. So I expected to hop on GTA and there wouldn't be anybody up here being bikers, and I think it was like my third time playing, and I joined in on a lobby where two motorcycle clubs were at war with one another, and I was like, holy shit, there's motorcycle clubs here.
Right, it's crazy when you first see it, isn't it? Like, for me, I was in a Mafia crew actually at first on PS3, and so that's how I even got any kind of familiarization with crews or whatever. But I never even thought about MC crews being out there, or that being a thing, you know, clubs being out there.
Yeah, well, when I first started at like ours, I was looking for a mafia family or an MC just because of the organized crime. Um, and I was like, you know what, I'll do the MC because I'm sure it's not out there, you know.
Right, right.
But I was dead wrong. What's the biggest obstacle you've faced within your club? Like, what's the hardest thing you've had to go through um, since being with the Kings?
Well, in all reality, it wasn't nothing doing with the crew. It was more of a personal issue. When I first joined the Kings, I had a horrible drinking issue, and our national president, he actually became a very good friend of mine, and he helped me get control over it, and he helped me a lot, like with him being there to give me as much advice as possible. Um, everything in my life did a 180. You know, I had my daughter, and he taught me how to be a man and the best way to raise a daughter, and he taught me how to be a better husband, basically how to be a better man in general. And ever since then, my life's gone up.
That's
Man,
really awesome.
that is the best thing I've ever heard from somebody on one of these.
Yeah.
That's that is awesome, man.
The Gorilla Kings, we're a family. Like,
Same with us, man. And it's crazy to hear that you guys have stories like that too. I assume that everybody's tight and everybody's friends and stuff like that. But most of our guys, like, we're friends outside of this as well, and like actually meet each other in real life and stuff. So to hear that from another club that we respect, man, that's an awesome story, it really is.
oh yeah, man. Like, there's not a day that goes by that I don't talk to somebody in the crew. You know,
Yep.
we help each other out with personal issues. We help each other out with issues with the game. I'm not going to spare people's business, but there's time where people are in financial need, and we all come together and help them too.
That's
And
awesome.
it's like a lot of people outside of, I wouldn't say outside of, but a lot of people that aren't into video games just assume that people that play together just play together. That's it. But in all reality, when you get a crew that's tight as I assume yours or mine, it's like it's not just a gaming crew. It's basically like a family.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Like I tell all the guys that come in, you know, every one of our patch members, I can say I love them. You know, they are my brothers. Like I don't look at them as somebody I met in a video game, you know, like anymore, that we're that close. I know we're planning a trip. Well, we were planning a trip at the end of the year, and we changed it to meet towards the summer. But I don't know, with everything going on in the world, if that'll, you know, allow it to happen. But it is awesome to hear that there's other clubs out there like us that are as tight knit as we are. It's a rare thing, really.
It definitely is.
What would you say your favorite thing to do with your club is? Like, would it be an event, riding? A lot of our guys say bullshitting in a party. You know.
Like, in all reality, everything. Like, we all hop on, we all grind together, we all take rides. We do different events like demolition derby. We do fight club, pirate wars. We do like all kinds of stuff. And then outside of that, some of us went out and bought Uno on the PlayStation. We'll all go play Uno together. Some of us will have a movie night where we all get on a party, or on the we'll go on Facebook and start a video chat, and we'll all go to Netflix and just pick a movie to watch, and we'll all sit there and watch the same movie and talk about it, laugh about it. if it's a horror movie, all I'm doing is talking shit about the dumbass decisions people make. But
Yeah.
like it's just everything, you know. Like I have my wife, for example, she knows how important Gorilla Kings is to me. Like I'll send y'all a picture in the group chat, but in my living room I have a Gorilla Kings flag, I have Gorilla Kings stickers all over my house, a Gorilla Kings blanket, and she knows how important it is to me. So she goes out and makes sure that like in the afternoon she'll make sure that nothing's gonna intervene with me getting online. Before I don't even ask her anymore. I asked her once before. I was like, hey, do you think I could get online? And she was like, you don't have to ask me, I know how close y'all are. I was like, okay.
Right, yeah, that's cool. You mentioned the Pirate Wars. What is that?
So we all get alright, so there's 2 teams, and then basically we'll elect the leader of each team, and we'll get on a tugboat. Each team gets their own tugboat, and we'll go out into the water somewhere, and we'll get a distance away, and then we'll all like I'll shoot a flare up in the air. When the flare goes in the air, we all start heading towards each other, and we only fight each other with muskets and marksman pistols, like you would if you were a pirate back in the day.
Right on. Yeah, I've got a game mode like that we tried. That is a blast. We do one. We call it a purge, where everybody goes like say Paleto Bay, and we set boundaries, and we'll turn off our mini maps. And there's like one person will make sure nobody's looking at the map and stuff, and then we send people out 2 by 2 to go hide throughout the city, and we just hunt each other down as just a game mode that we do.
Yeah, we have another event called Guerrilla Warfare, and it's out there in Paleto in the woods, and we'll all get out there with nothing but muskets and have free-for-alls, team death matches, stuff like that.
Right on. Yeah, like when they did the Peyote, I was hoping they kept that in game forever. Where did you ever take part in that? Did you know about that?
Oh man, I became a cat. I got ran over by a semi-truck the first time I did it.
Well, when I got online the first day, because I read a thing on the screen that said the peyote, so first thing I did was start Googling it, and I found them, and I was in a session, and nobody knew about it. So like I became a deer up in Sandy Shores, and I ran all the way down to the city just to fuck with other players, and everyone, like nobody was trying to kill me. Like I had the whole session just around me, like what is going on? That's one thing I would do is I'd try to become like an animal and then dodge out in front of cars as they were passing. And
did you ever take it in the water?
Yeah, I became a shark, a fucking stingray.
I never did get to do that, man. I wanted to do that one.
I'm hoping they bring it back because that was fun. We wanted to do like a hunting event where a couple people would turn into animals and the rest of us would go out and try to hunt them. But by the time we got enough people on to mess around with it, it was gone. I was so upset when that peyote disappeared.
It didn't stick around long. It was like 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah. So, what makes your club different than others, would you say?
Well, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I know when you go on Instagram or when you go on YouTube, not including y'all, because y'all are pretty cool from what I can tell, but like if you go out there, you see how it's always people recording attacking random players, or they'll be on Instagram purposely causing issues with other people, and like they go out of their way to start drama, really. Whereas all we focus on really is grinding. Now, if somebody attacks us, we will step up to it, but thing in the game. And the family that we created, you know.
Yes, sir. That is that is the exact way I would answer that, by the way. I mean, pretty much.
Yep. Well, with us, like we try not to mess with randoms first. You know, like there'll be two people over in Vespucci, and we'll ride up to them, ride past them, and if they're friendly, we'll ride around the block and come back and maybe park up and walk up to them. Just because, like, when you get a session of 30 people and 15 of them are dressed like bikers riding in formation. Like I mentioned in the podcast I did earlier, it's like organized chaos, and like we try to do that. We want to be friendly with people. We're definitely not about the wars, we'll fight when we have to, but for us it's more about just enjoying the game and having other people enjoy it with us.
I agree 100%. Yeah, a lot of the people, when they see a group of players like riding in this formation and like sticking around each other, they get impressed by it. We've picked up a few members just doing that.
Yeah, we'll be riding and we'll pass a random, and next thing I know, he's dressed like a biker riding in the back of the formation. And I always find that funny, just because they have no idea what it's about, but they want to be a part of it. Like the Peyote session, that first one I got into, I went on the mic and I was like, hey, this is how you do it. You go here, and I was like, I know where there's like 4 or 5 spots. I'll take you to them so you can find them. And I had about, I think it was like 15 randoms following me around the map, and by the time we got to the third one, all of them were on bikes riding with me. At first they were on oppressors and in cars, and by the end they were all right there riding with me behind me. It was pretty cool.
That's pretty badass.
Man, I know here lately, especially, I was just telling the guys earlier, we've been coming into more and more sessions that have been like, it'll be like, maybe say, just an example, like 10 of us, and it'll fill the rest of the way up with randoms, and we'll even start like a stand your ground and stuff. And man, here lately, man, nobody's even been messing with us. Like, it's been pretty chill, to be honest. But like you said, they see the bigger group or whatever sometimes, and it's like it either interests them, or they're like, let me stay away from there. Or if they're a 12-year-old kid, they're like, oh, let me go blow all them up.
Let me get my KD up.
Right.
That's
been go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I was gonna say, that reminds me, when I first joined the club, there was like I think we had like 7 or 8 people, and we posted up somewhere. Bama, you might have been there for this. I don't know if you were in yet. We were posted up doing pictures, and nobody was watching the map. And there was a guy on an overpass that shot a rocket down and killed all of us. And like, I couldn't even be mad. I was laughing because normally we're watching the map, watching the dots. But we were like, hey, this is a cool spot. Let's get a picture. And next thing I know, we were all dead. Like, it was pretty funny. We did another one like that. We did a bike show. And how we do our events, like our bike shows and car shows, everybody will put a bounty on each other, and then winner takes all. And if it's a full session, you can make 264,000, I think it is. And everything was cool. We had randoms in it. It was great. And as soon as the last bounty got sent, we got hit with an orbital cannon and took out all of us.
One time we were doing a muscle car show. Oh no, we weren't doing anything. We were just sitting there waiting for somebody to come back from, I think he went to go to the kitchen. But we were getting ready to do sales, and we were waiting on him to come back. And we were all just sitting there talking, nobody paying attention to the TV or nothing. And all of a sudden, this level 2 walked up on me and knocked me off my bike and took my bike. And I was sitting there like, where does this make sense to you? And next thing I know, he's getting obliterated.
Yeah.
You know, like, one of my favorite things is is like when we're riding, right? And say we're like riding through the city and there's, some randoms in there. But like if there's a large group of us, man, just going by and like the ones that don't come out, shooting at you, just kind of like stop and sit there and watch. And then you see them sit there on the mat for a minute, like, they're thinking to themselves, what in the world was that?
Is this real life? Yeah. What's the best memory you've got with the Gorilla Kings?
2 days after my daughter was born, I heard my national president, Evil, he sent me a text saying, you need to go check your mailbox. So I went out there and I got all the boxes and stuff and came back, and everybody in the crew had basically donated money, and they bought my daughter a bunch of it's called Gorilla King Diaper Division. It has a pacifier in the gorilla's mouth and everything.
That is awesome.
Yeah, man.
They got her.
I'm loving this.
They got her a bunch of onesies and stuff like this baby's protected by the Gorilla Kings Motorcycle Club, or this baby's protected by Uncle Evil. They got her this little glass block that's sitting right above her bed, actually. We got a diaper bag that has the Gorilla Kings logo on it, and they sent me a Costco gift card to purchase a bunch of diapers and wipes off of to get me started.
That is awesome.
We have to step up our game at the unborn, after hearing these stories.
Man.
That's awesome.
I know. Yeah, man. That's great. It really is.
It's kind of funny. The first picture I ever took with my daughter, or no, it wasn't the first one. It was after her and my wife got put into their own room. The first picture I got, I had bought a Gorilla Kings t-shirt, and I made sure that was the shirt I was wearing when they all took the pictures.
That's awesome.
We just had a member. They had a baby, and when the baby came home from the hospital, we had a bunch of guys paint their bikes pink, and we had a van painted pink, and we parked it up at the hospital, and we rode them to the clubhouse for the baby to come home. And that's all we did. We didn't.
That's still pretty awesome.
Didn't get no diaper bags, but no, that's really cool, man. What's next for Gorilla Kings? Like GTA 6, Red Dead Redemption, whatever the case.
We have a group in Red Dead 2 already. Except for it's not called the Gorilla Kings, it's called the Gorilla Graves Gang. And instead of calling it a chapter, it's called a camp. And we created a whole new list of titles for them. Like over there, the equivalent to your president would be camp leader or camp commander, whichever one. The equivalent to your VP would be the right hand, and sergeant's the captain. Enforcer's the camp boss. Road captain would be your stable master. Treasurer is the banker. Secretary's the bookkeeper, and then tail gunner is the rear gun. And instead of calling them patch members, we called them road agents and stuff like that. So we got it over there already.
That's pretty cool. We've got a couple guys that play over there. We created a crew. It's the Unborn Outlaws, but it really doesn't matter over there right now. But I'm trying to get enough guys to go like a role play. We've had a couple guys do it. There's a couple guys that play it pretty hardcore. But it's hard to transition from this to that with them. A lot of our guys are old timers that just want to be a biker. They don't want to be a cowboy. They don't want to deal with all that. I love it. Like for me, one of my favorite things to do with the club is just either ride and talk or sit up and talk. Do this, just bullshit, telling stories, history of the club. I'll tell the same story 5 times in a session because there's different people joining, you know. And I love that over there because now we can go fishing. We can, you know, go for a little ride on the horses. We can, you know, hunt, whatever the case may be. I love that aspect. I pray that GTA 6 takes a lot of notes from the role players and uses that within the game as well, just so there's, you know, side things for all of us to do, except for, you know, instead of killing people constantly.
Well, I know I talked to one of the guys at GameStop one time, and he said that he had heard a rumor, which we all know how rumors are. There's 100 of them.
Right.
But he had heard a rumor that GTA is actually gonna, or Rockstar is supposed to come out with a different type of gameplay to where like you can choose if you want to go to a PvP session or if you want to go to a non-PvP session.
I've always thought like a lot of games you can own a session or own a server, you know, like on Ark and all that, you can buy a server and make it to where certain things can be used, certain things can't. Like I would love that where we could turn on a session where, you know, there's no jets, no oppressors, no rockets, stuff like that, just so we can, you know, because a lot of the clubs today don't follow the rules. The ones that we've run into, a lot of them don't follow those rules where they're wearing a diamond on their back, but they're using rockets and, you know, sticky bombs and sniper rifles and all that.
Yeah, the way I explained it to most of the members, it was like, if you can't buy it on the street with ease, then you don't need to use it in a lobby war.
Yep.
Like you can buy handguns or assault rifles or shotguns and stuff like that, but all my time growing up, I ain't never came across a dude willing to sell me a rocket launcher.
Right. Yeah, that's how we are. Like I think it was the sweeper shotgun came out with the biker DLC, I believe.
Yeah.
And that was that compact shotgun that's automatic. And that was one that people were like, well, it came out with the biker DLC, but we call them easy kill weapons. You know, the sniper, the rocket, the proximity mine, stuff like that, the minigun. If it's easy for you to kill somebody, we want that challenge. We, you know, ARs, AKs, pump shotguns, pistols, you know, and that's how I like it.
That's how we are. Like in public lobbies, we're not allowed to ride anything but motorcycles or the hang-arounds we get. They're all required to drive a van.
Yeah. We talked about a while back doing the prospects would get a rat bike, and I thought that would be pretty sweet, but it's that making my character's going crazy over here. It would be making somebody do something, you know, like that's one thing about us is like you can have whatever color bike you want, as long as you look like a biker, wear your cut, you can, you know, wear whatever. And some clubs they'll do that where you can only ride zombies or baggers or daemons, whatever the case may be. We don't want to turn into that, you know. We like the difference, you know. Everybody's different. When we did the in the cut with Dirty Work, that was one thing a lot of people said in the comments, you know, like all their bikes are different, and that's something we take pride in. We all take pride in our bikes with our paint jobs. We've actually got a body shop. We call it the Unborn Body Shop, and it's for custom colors. We change that and, you know, do up our vehicles. Anything else you want to add to this? Any kind of story you want to tell, or, you know, before we finish it off?
I mean, I can't think of anything, to be honest with you. Is there anything either one of y'all want to ask about me, about people in the crew, anything like that?
With me, I don't really have any questions or anything like that. I've most certainly enjoyed the interview and sitting in on it. I had talked to, like I said, I talked to a few of you guys before, several different times, and I mean, we've done some small events together, I think, too. But I really enjoyed the interview and taking an inside peek, man. And to be honest, like, you guys are just like us, man. And that's awesome to see. Like, I knew you guys were cool and all of that, and a lot of us got along and stuff, but I had no idea, I guess, rather, that you guys were so much, we're so much alike. I don't want to say like us or us like you. We're a lot alike, is what I mean to say. And that's great.
Yeah, like.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a lot of similarities. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. We've had respect for you guys, for a while, but I mean, with some of your answers, man, like there's a whole nother level of respect coming. I love what you guys are doing. The tightness you guys have, it's great.
For sure. And I'm not sure if he told you who I am before we did this interview or whatever, but I'm one of the presidents within TUMC of the Vespucci chapter. And for me, and I think I can probably speak for everybody else too, I think we should, definitely try to intermingle some more, some of your guys, some of our guys, and let's hang out. Because you guys seem to, be our kind of people.
It'll definitely be a possibility.
Well,
I like everything that's going on here, everything I've heard. So I would definitely deliver the message.
Well, we appreciate you sitting down with us, man. Thanks again, and until next time.